Morning guys, Wednesday, April 27th, 2022 Bulletin for the Quasidb service. We've had a big knock on the risk appetite. If we continue to do this, we'll probably be risk off by tomorrow. So it was a big chunk on the sentiment. It was minus 2.7. If we do it again, it's going to tilt us into risk off at the big picture. VIX is really high as well. So what we don't want, if we're long indices, risk generally, we don't want to see red. Currently we're green, red, but tomorrow we might be red. So be careful. I think we might be falling on the S&P and things like that. So, and also VIX is really high as well. So be careful. VIX is very high. Kiwi and Aussie are strong in the small time frame. And there's probably a reason for that, is that we had some news out from China overnight, and President Xi was saying that he wants to pump money into infrastructure, so that probably got the algos worrying over Asia, and so that kind of makes sense that we see some strength on the Kiwi and Aussie at the small time frames. Whether or not you want to fight the dollar, because the dollar is strong on daily, weekly and monthly, so that's the big picture. That's like the small time frame, like low level. Could see strong Aussie because of the sentiment. However, we could be seeing a weak Kiwi, so that's a bit of a mix, but that's just the sentiment for you. This is how the retail guys have shown us their hand, so this is how they're positioned for the day ahead. So they're short Aussie, but they're long Kiwi, so they're also short CAD as well. So yeah, I guess we'll have to wait and see what happens there. It's worth checking the sentiment. It's just on the dashboard. Go here, there, and you just scroll down there. So it's not so bad. It's just that's where it is. Just on the dashboard, scroll down. There it is. So according to FXCM clients, since last Wednesday, US 30 is the greatest sell. So that's a bit of a concern. AJ is the greatest buy, so that's a fundamental mismatch. So while Aussie yen can go up, sentimentally US 30 can fall. So that doesn't make any sense. So we've got to be careful. I think that's the summary. There's a sell for S&P. They went long up at 4250 area. I don't know if we're going to come up to their break even. Or they went long, so yeah, it should be falling. So whether or not it's going to come up to that level where they went long, so maybe, yeah, maybe it will get to their break even. It might just tease them and then fall. So if this crosses, this is going to be a buy. Okay, so just bear that in mind. Gold is a sideways. It's very lifeless on the sentiment. It's not really doing anything. It probably needs like a driver, I think. A lot of people want it below 1900, a lot of people want it above 1900, so that's why. It's probably a lot to do with the round number there. The 5 and the 10, they need reversing. That's higher than that one, so that's not quite right. I think it might sort itself out by Friday, and you know that the 30 years come down as well. So if these come down, it's going to hurt the dollar yen, and if that does revert back to normal, then that'll be a risk on indication. So I still ideally we want this a bit lower, but this could be risk on. If that sorts itself out by Friday, this could be a positive sign that things are like going back to normal, but that's currently a bit of a risk off indication. Asia Pacific rebounded, which ties into the strong Aussie and Kiwi we see. Whether or not this is going to remain true over a period of time, I doubt it. I think this is going to be fake, but I could be wrong. And you know that Europe isn't open yet, but Asia is up a lot, so that's interesting. Swiss yen has the greatest correlation with US 500 at 96% probability, which is really handy. You'll note that UJ has the weakest correlation at 56%. So if you're sat at your computer today, get a chart of Swiss yen and watch what that's doing, because that'll tell you a great deal about where we're heading with risk. Swiss is strongest and pound is weakest. There's maybe a Swiss yen buy opportunity. This is why I put a square around it, a rectangle, because if we do go up on the Swiss yen, it's going to bring US 500 up, or should I say US 500 goes up, it will bring Swiss yen up. So that would be currently potentially, maybe a buy scenario. Obviously, you'd want to do strong versus weak, but there is a little bit of a distance between the two. So if they do manage to diverge, this could be a US 500 long sign there. Okay. Also note that the dollar might creep over here. That's what I was thinking actually when I was doing this bulletin. We might see like a softer dollar, and it might come over here. This reason for that moving is because it's rated stops, and that's why it's moving away, because the sentiment has shifted after taking liquidity. So it might come over here. By Friday we might come over here, and then we might be risk on Friday. So got to be careful. SLC update, Euro Oz was the greatest sell, possibly hinting at Aussie strength, possibly. So I'll probably put that in italics. Largest stop loss cluster is AU, is above at 72.55. The size is 4.38%. So there's an area of liquidity that could be rated above, and this would make sense that it would go up to take that liquidity, get their stops, and then we could fall after punishing the retail guys. So that's a potential scenario. Also, you note that it's a high level sell, so really we shouldn't be going up to get that liquidity, but it might just do it, ignore the sentiment, just go raid those stops, which would be quite naughty, but it happens. Signals yesterday was a negative 18 pips. However, it mitigated a lot of risk by only opening one bad trade as a dollar CAD. Using the old logic, without the checks, it would have opened several, so for that I'm happy with the result. Using the old logic, we would have opened up several trades and signals, and they could have gone potentially bad, because yesterday was very choppy, as you would have seen on the indices. So we just did a big roller coaster, and we're still in the roller coaster now, so it's going to be tricky. So really we're still up by a lot this week, so I'm happy. And yeah, I mean, it's only 18 pip loss, so it's not too bad. Dollar CAD was pretty bad at one point. It was over 100 pip loss, but then it went towards our favour, and so they're all closed. So we haven't got any signals open yet, but we probably will do soon based on this logic there. So look for Aussie potentially longs. I mean Aussie longs. Back down, and there's that little bit of news overnight. Made a bold commitment to boost infrastructure construction, and that's going to obviously trigger the algos, the buy and sell algos. They'll just like be pumping the stocks because of that news, and it's positive news anyway. It seems when the US cannot pump stimulus, China's happy to continue. Fed are doing QT, which is withdrawing stimulus over time. China are quite happy to to stimulate the economy, and you could say the world's economy, the global economy. So this is going to help Europe as well because of the China-Europe connection. So maybe look for dips on euro, maybe. Quiet calendar, and we've got ADP in Canada and the goods trades balance from the US. So fairly quiet, so that's good. And the Aussie data's been out, so that's okay. And just to trade safely. And we might be risk on, but we have to remember by this time tomorrow we're going to be risk off at the big picture, and the VIX is really high. I wouldn't necessarily be looking for longs on the S&P if we're above 30, and really we should be below 26.5, which is your yearly pivot. So it's telling us risk off, and I don't know if this is going to be legit. And this needs to sort itself out as well. That's a big concern. So trade safely, and I'll be back tomorrow, and we'll be nearly the weekend, which would be great because it's been quite tricky this week so far. I'll have to see how we go, and have a good day. I'll speak to you later.